Hey everyone, this is Sin and welcome back to Stampin' Munchkins. Today I am part of a hop called Shop Each Other's Stash. We had to send our partner some crafty goodness for them to create using every single one of those products that we sent. On the screen is what I made, so let's get started. I'm excited. My partner is Annette Hopkins, known as Wayfaring Panda on YouTube, and her link will be in my description. But this is what she sent me: the ribbon, 2 washi tape, this beautiful stamp set from Stampin' Up. She didn't even use them, I don't think, or hardly, but it's red rubber, which is really nice. She sent me the sequins and a beautiful card and this black embossing powder. Okay, let's see what I did. So I went through my ink swatches to see what I wanted to use, and I got this Altenew ink set, and for the leaves I decided on that one. Everything will be listed below as usual. Sugar Plum set is the purple, and I believe it's Green Fields for the green. My A2 layers dies from Waffle Flower, Hello die from Altenew, Teflon Bone Folder, Score Buddy, Guillotine Trimmer, Misty 2.0, my cutting mat, multimedia mat, Lawn Fawn Glue Tube, EK Success Powder Tool, retractable pick, Lawn Fawn 1/8 inch glue, the tray, B tray, tweezers, X-Acto knife and scissors, Gina K edible eggplant, Lawn Fawn Gold Rush cardstock, Accent 120-pound cardstock, and let's get started. I'm using my Misty to do the stamping. I'm not using it to use as a positioning tool. I was going to, that's why I took that black foam part out, as you need to use that with red rubber or rubber stamp instead of polymer. But I decided not to. I'm just going to stamp it, as you will see. And I'm using the plum color to stamp the flowers in different ink pads, which you will see. I have it on there, but again, everything will be listed below for easy shopping. So the lighter ink pad is done with a solid layer, which is the bottom layer. And because these aren't see-through, I'm kind of looking on the side before I ink or stamp it to make sure it's fairly lined up. There, I'm putting the foam back because I decided I'm not going to use it as a positioning tool. And I like having the foam underneath, as it gives me a better, like it gives from the bottom. So I get a better image when I stamp it. So again, I'm just stamping it, and it's okay that it's not perfectly lined up because I believe that's how it's supposed to be. But it is a little more difficult because it is not clear photopolymer. Now I'm doing the green, and I'm not using I didn't want to use the wood part or attach it, so I'm just using the green. But it did, I had a little bit of the ink on the side of the rubber, so now I'm just cleaning it off with my baby wipe. And I'll just be doing that. I did the lighter color in the solid, and now I'm doing the little darker color for the outline. And that's a rule of thumb when you can always use whatever colors you want, but for layered stamping, I always like to use the lighter color for the solid ink on the bottom. So I'm adding one more, but because I kind of messed up the first one, I'm going to fussy cut this out. I was going to leave it as is, but it actually worked out better so that I fussy cut it out, which you'll see right here. using my Tim Holtz scissors. And I'm using the, I was going to use the accent as cardstock as my base, but I do cut it out eventually. And I'm just using the same ink colors, ink pad set for my background and just ink smushing it, adding some water, and I go direct to paper, or I use my acetate. It's not acetate, it's just the extra bag that held my stamps, and I just use that to pick it up. And again, very simple layering. I'm just doing each color so that it has a little that it kind of matches my flowers. So I just put it on. I like the way it is with all the shooting sprays in the background. And I want to add a little gold because this washi paper has gold in it. And I kind of match it up and I decide that's the one that matches it the best. And I'm going to be splattering this on the background. And I'm going to add a little tape to keep it flat, as Kathy Zilski does all the time. And I'm just adding some gold splatter to the background panel and the flower and leaf. And I'm going to be drying it up because I'm impatient with my heat gun. And I'm auditioning which color I want to use. And actually I went away from the burgundy maroon and went with a deep purple. So now I decide I'm going to cut everything up and do layers. So that's why I brought out my waffle flower A2 layers. And it's going to be one step up per, and these are 1/4 inch apart. So I'll have a little border for each layer. So that's the first one that the flowers will sit on. And the next one will be the deep purple eggplant. I love this color. And the next one will be the gold. And this gold rush is so, it's very subtle, but you can see the shine. I really like it. And it's a very nice, thick cardstock. So I just put the other one just to make sure that that's the layer that I like. And I just did one step up for each one. Okay, so those are my layers already, 3 layers. And now I'm going to be using the embellishments that Annette sent. So I decided to use this washi tape, but it's a little too thick. So I'm putting it on my craft or self-healing mat. And I'm using my quilting ruler to cut it. And I believe it was maybe a 1/4 inch. And I'm using all of my grids and rulers to make a straight. Instead of using a T ruler, I'm just using this, as because I'm a quilter, I am very familiar with quilting rulers. So that's on straight, and I'm going to put the the ribbon on the bottom, because one of the challenge was we have to use every single item, and that's not as easy as you would think. But I like how my card turned out. It was a challenge, but it was fun. And Annette, thank you for bringing or giving me all these beautiful coordinating. It was easy because it was coordinating. So now I'm going to put a hello die cut, and I'm cutting that also out of the eggplant cardstock 2 times and the gold rush cardstock 2 times. And I want to show you that I'm going to be cutting it out of the middle of the layer so that I'm not wasting that middle part, and no one will ever see it because it'll be layered up. So I tried to get one more out of this, but just wasn't going to happen. So I ended up with 2 of the eggplant and 2 of the gold rush. And when I put the layers together, you will see the empty parts. So that's a little tip for you. Don't waste your layers. If you're gonna either, if you're not gonna use it right away, then just take out a hunk of it in the middle. So now I just used my matte, multi-matte medium glue and added those up. And now I'm like, I wanted to offset it. So do I want the gold in the front? Do I want the purple in the back? So I go back and forth, and I end up with the gold in the front. So it's the opposite of how the layers is, which is kind of cool. I like that. Because the layer is gold, purple and gold, but then the word is gold and purple, so it's the opposite. So now I'm adding the layers. As you can see, that I did take out the middle. And I'm layered the purple onto the gold. And now I'm going to layer I should have done my embossing first, which you'll see later. But so now I did the card panel to the top, and I went all the way to the top because I liked how that looked. So again, I'm still figuring out how I want to do it. And instead of the accent card base, I decided to use Gina K's eggplant as the card base. And now I need to use that black embossing powder. So I wasn't quite sure what I wanted to do, and I don't have black, so it worked out good that I had to use it. So I'm using an embossing pen and just doing some circles and adding like black splatter, but using the embossing pen and embossing powder. So I just did 5. It's not as vibrant or as dark as I like, but you know, it was a requirement to use it, so it worked out. And now, because it was kind of warped with all the I don't know why it got warped, but I'm just adding a accent cardstock in the back to make it strong. And I learned this from Jennifer McGuire. Instead of using foam tape or foam sheets, just use your leftover cardstock. So thank you for allowing us to save the earth a little bit. So I put my Misty 2.0 on it to weigh it down so it glues nicely, and everything will be glued down. Nothing is dimension. There's no dimension. Sorry, Laura. I know dimension is life, but none today except for the hello and the layered, I guess. So I'm putting the hello on top of the black dots, and now I need to add the sequins, and this is the last element. And again, I really like how this turned out. I hope you liked it too. It was such a fun challenge. Thank you for Courtney Krieber for getting this together. It was a lot of fun. So now I'm adding the whole panel, the layered panel, to the card base. And I'm not putting anything in the middle. As y'all know, I usually don't do that because I don't know who I'm going to be sending it to. And I will personalize it when I do send it. So that's the finished card. I hope you liked it. Please hop along. I will have everything in the description below. And here's a few up-close pictures of how it turned out. Again, I really enjoyed how it came out, and it was a true challenge to try and get all the products used, but it was fun. I truly enjoyed it. The thing that stumped me the most was the black embossing powder. But again, here's another video that you might enjoy and a card making playlist. I appreciate you watching it. And as always, click on my face to subscribe. Thanks everyone. Aloha.